The life of Betty White. White was born in the Chicago suburb of Oak Park on January 17, 1922, the only child of parents Tess, a homemaker, and Horace White, an electrical engineer. The family moved to California a few years later, eventually winding up in Los Angeles, where the future star grew up in the shadow of Hollywood. She was bitten by the showbiz bug when she wrote herself into the lead role of a school play. She then scored her first TV gig just a month after graduating from Beverly Hills High in 1939, singing The Merry Widow on an experimental local channel. The appearance at age 17 came months before the medium was introduced to the masses at the New York World's Fair. Betty White's career in television goes back, for all intents and purposes, before television, said Thompson. Nobody had a TV in 1939. She took a break from the small screen during World War II, working in the American Women's Voluntary Services and briefly marrying a fighter pilot named Dick Barker, but returned in the late 1940s with small parts on local stations. By then, just under 1,000 people in Los Angeles had a TV, White said in her 1995 memoir. White's first big role was the co-host on the daytime talk show Hollywood on Television, filling 5.5 hours of airtime 6 days a week with freewheeling banter, celebrity interviews, skits, and live commercials. The show was a hit. It was us or the test pattern, White once quipped, but she said her second husband, Hollywood agent Lane Allen, couldn't handle being married to a busy career woman, and the union fell apart after 2 years. In 1952, White co-created and starred in the Saturday night sitcom called Life with Elizabeth, becoming one of TV's rare female producers and earning her first Emmy nomination. She continued her pioneering role both in front and behind the camera with the short-lived NBC talk show The Betty White Show in 1954. Some stations in the South threatened to pull the show off the air over the inclusion of African-American tap dancer Arthur Duncan in the cast, but White famously told them to live with it. She was probably one of the nicest, grandest, greatest people I've ever had the chance to meet in my life, said Duncan in 2018. Whenever she walked into a room, it lit up. During the 1960s, White became a regular guest on TV game shows where she met her third and final husband, Password host Alan Ludden, who she stayed with until he died in 1981.